I'm going to run over Sasha Banks and anyone else who gets in my way, and I don't need a tank to do it. Something the people at Tiananmen Square could not say. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown from Evansville, Indiana. Indiana wants me to endure more bad Vince McMahon comedy. Wait, no, that's just Vince wanting to just foist upon so much goddamn badly scripted stuff. Look, just let the wrestlers go out there with bullet points. Script the people you need to, because some people can actually go out there and be interesting personalities. It's really fucking frustrating. There were good parts on the show, and then there was one particular part that just totally took me fucking out of it, because Vince McMahon has fucking lost it. Vince McMahon hates a vast majority of wrestling fans. He has to, because at this point, with all the releases he did, with all the releases that happened due to budget cuts, people power! Such good shit, pal. Ha ha ha! I can create any stars I want. Vince McMahon basically just decided to shit on the hopes and dreams of many people. I get that it's a business. You can't keep everybody around forever. Check out my video on the releases. It's almost 30 minutes, but they talked, there were 18 fucking releases, so I had to talk about them for quite a bit, but goddamn. This show, though, it was kind of business as usual. Anyway, stupid baseball is over, said Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee stealing the goddamn show on commentary like always. I do want to say, even though I don't like Michael Cole as a commentator, apparently he has, pretty close to full-on hearing loss in one of his ears, has to use a special device to listen while he's on commentary. I feel bad for him. I do. As a human being, I don't want him to go through that. Whether he's a good commentator or not, I hope they can curtail that and just find a way to keep as much hearing in his ear. I think it's like 60 to 65%. So hopefully they can find a way to at least preserve the remainder of his hearing. And maybe Vince can stop screaming in his ear so much. So anyway, the Bloodline make their entrance. It takes about 5 years. And everybody must acknowledge Roman's acknowledged meat. And then he talks about how he was on vacation, running around naked on a private island. His wife loved it and stopped thinking about everybody. My entire timeline was as wet as, well, basically the Sahara after a goddamn rainstorm. Just dumping all the rain down on that dry area, and everybody was wet with perspiration, thinking about Roman's acknowledged meat. So anyway, Roman Heyman, hey, what else happened on SmackDown? What else happened last week? What else happened, wise man? And he talks about the Usos losing to New Day. Who took the fall? It was Jimmy. Jimmy, just the driving force behind the Usos, which explains a lot. He took the fall. So he says, how are you going to fix this? I'm going to make them acknowledge you. I'm going to make them acknowledge the tribal chief. Here, Kofi and Xavier show up. They make jokes about the head at the table, or head of the table, head at the table. He's receiving head at the table. And Xavier, of course, has his seductive scepter right out there, just right out there on camera. Again, it's like 7 years, never fucking passed. So, they're going to have a match. Basically, Woods will bend at the knee. He will bow to Roman and acknowledge him. Or if Jimmy loses, then he must bend at the knee. Boys to Men take their hats off, even though I don't think Boys to Men ever wore hats in their videos. But I'm not up on my 90s R&B. Great group, though. Also, Michael Jackson was disappointed when he found Boys to Men was just a group. So, that's basically what it is. We're going WrestleMania 3 here. Except nobody has knees like Harley Race did in 1987, and nobody has the drug issues that JYD had in 1987. Rest in peace to both of them. So, hard to believe Harley lived longer. So, anyway, Naomi makes her entrance. Bring it to the float. And I can't do the rave thing. I can't do that. I can only be a bad white guy dancing. Don't gift that, please. Sonya and Kayla are talking backstage, both looking extra soft. I'm just going to let that sit and marinate right there. Kayla, I really wish Kayla wouldn't tweet such stupid shit and would actually have a, more of a brain on her, because she's bright and funny and beautiful. And Sonya, feel so bad for the shit Sonya's going through. She's killing it in this heel role. And Sonya says, hey, I lit a fire under Naomi. Dance into the fire. And if she wins, perhaps she'll get to face Sonya at one point. Sonya's like, hey, Naomi wins, maybe I'll get to fist her down. Maybe that's just that dream I had. So, Shayna versus Naomi. Okay, it wasn't bad. There was a German on the head. I mean, just, not nobody's fault. It's just the way Naomi took it. Like, fuck, that looked deadly. Weird, awkward spot where it's like she's trying to pull her off the apron, then nodding in, whatever. Crossbody for 2 and break. Naomi's smashing Baszler in the face. I saw a movie like that once. So, we get to the end. Death, taxes, and Shayna getting rolled up for the win. Those are 3 guarantees in life. But then, because there was a submission spot earlier, Sonya says, no, there should have been a rope break. I have no choice but to restart this match. Here you go. And that's it. Sonya watches as Shayna chokes her out. Shh, only dreams now. No, bring it to the floor. And Naomi loses. This storyline continues. I really hope there's a payoff. It's a good payoff, and they don't just Mickey James and Lay Cool this shit. Because you remember right, it wasn't a very good payoff. Don't do anything like that, and we're okay. And Sonya seems like the type that wouldn't want to go for that, but she also is an employee. Well, independent contractor, but she would just be doing what she's told. But I would hope after 11 years they would have learned their lesson. So anyway, now we get to Reigns telling Jimmy, I'm not here to pop you, you better win. So, and Xia Li, a pre-tape, I need her to swing and smash me in the face. I have no issues, shut up. So, Kayla was admiring Ridge's, thick club. Stop thinking about rocks. And Kayla, seriously, she was like eyeballing that thing. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's hard not to admire Ridge because he's just standing right there. I was afraid he didn't wear pants for a second. I'm like, oh God, aim up. Because it's network television. And Ridge talked about how he admires Sheamus. He learned a lot from him. The Royal Rumble win, the WWE Championship win over Cena, all that. Now he's going to take those lessons and beat the shit out of the Smackdown roster. He didn't say shit, but he should have. So, Shotzi then, we have a pre-tape of Shotzi blasting Sasha from behind, according to a Fox mandate. And Shotzi says she's lost the support of the fans. I like Shotzi. I really like Shotzi. And she said, and then she sends a line about running over Sasha Banks and doesn't need a tank to do it. So she's getting rid of the tank. If she's going to be a heel and then eventually turn back into a babyface and get the tank back, I don't mind it. It makes her more serious. And Shotzi can pull it off. I hope. I give it 2 months, and then they're going to just have her jobbing on main event as a heel for no reason. Cesaro Manzor took on Humberto Carrillo, or Manstar, as I called him, versus Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. The Los Lotharios, I believe is what they're called. Okay. Why are Cesaro Manzor a team? Why are they a team? I don't know what, I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing this. I just don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. I hope they're selling the company is what I'm writing at this point because they have no direction. And this is not any of the wrestlers' fault. They just have no direction. Cesaro gets tagged in and he just swings and fists up and inside two men at once. I've seen that also in a movie once. Always delete your search history. But then he ends up getting tag teamed and pinned. Cesaro getting tag teamed by two Hispanic men, news at 11. So Cesaro gets pinned. Not Mansoor, Cesaro. Okay. So Jeff's talking to Aaliyah, who has not been the same since August 25th of 2001. And she leaves to go 20 feet over to talk to Sammy. And Sammy's like, hey, I'm the locker room leader, the liberator, da-da. And says Aaliyah needs to wear a pantsuit. Ding dong, trick or treat for pantsuits. Brought my modified Dorothy Hamill cut. Gasoline. That's the common fuel I'm trying to think of. If you guys get that line, I fucking love you. Or those lines. Anyway, so yeah, I guess Sammy's just going to do this for the next couple months unless he resigns. Drew has his fist cocked and his sword out, and he's ready to offer an open challenge. Here's Ricochet, the Pack calls a human joystick. Gonna let that marinate right there, and move on to when Ricochet says, oh, you don't think I can beat you. Bitch smack! And then, even though he gets some moves, he does make Drew look good. Gets his shots in. Tries to do a backflip. And Claymore. Claymore right in the goddamn face. Bam. Boom. That's it. By the way, we cut to Ali watching the match while Megan, I believe her name is, the interviewer, is talking to him and says, we have a lot in common, me and Ricochet. Yeah, you're both taking a whole lot of losses. And I like Ali and I like Ricochet as athletes. Though Ricochet might want to associate with better people, much like Moose, that goddamn piece of shit. Don't go chasing certain friendships, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, Drew just, it was kind of cool, the backflip end of the Claymore. That was beautifully done. Was it impractical? Sure, but it looked cool. And then the New Day tried to do comedy, talking about the Usos and all that. Corbin has golden showers now. And then Ricochet saying to Ali, you're just, it's like, you're not a winner, you're a whiner. You're just a jerk. You're just a meanie head, man. And then he leaves. Corbin and Moss and the Raiders do this whole happy talk Corbin thing. They fired Lee, Ember, Mia. They fired a whole bunch of people, and they kept this creative bullshit. I'm not saying fire these guys. Corbin's safe and smooth in the ring, wears ridiculous shirts, hasn't been interesting for a number of years. Moss is fucking useless. The Raiders are fucking useless. This is where I checked out. I said, fuck it. There were some good lines, by the way. I love a good raid. Riddle heard something different. And then we're going to raid because this show sucks. Again, Riddle heard something different. Raiders versus Corbin and Moss. Okay, so they had piped in boos during the previous segment. Piped in cheers for this. Because no one gave a shit. So, two thighs to the face will do that. I can identify. Shut up, don't ask. And Vikings ass to the face for dinner. That's basically another thing that, that Pat said because Pat's really good. And that's it. Who the fuck won? The Raider. I think the Raiders won. I actually don't give a shit. Remnants of Hit Row were there. People are starting a rehire BFAB thing. You know what? They can get her back okay. I don't want anybody to lose her job. It's bullshit. They called them up and then got rid of her. But Hit Row was doing comedy with Zayn. I hate it. And I like Swerve. I don't like not PN News. And I don't like not D-Lo. Nothing against them as people. But this is Swerve. This is Swerve and Goons. That's all it is. It's Swerve and the Putties. In fact, that's what I'm calling Hit Row now. Swerve and the Putties. So, Raw Rebrown remix. So, to fill time. Here's by the way, then Zayn brought out Hit Skid Row. All right. Poor Swerve is what I wrote down. So, Woods got new music. Woods and Jimmy Uso had a match that was fine. It was totally fine. The loser must bow. How many of 3 of you guys? There was a nice top rope leg drop, a nice top rope Samoan drop. And then Usos tried to interfere to get the victory. Nope, that didn't work. Roll up for 3. Okay, cool. Jimmy's about to bow. Reigns fists him from behind. They beat up Kofi. They beat up Xavier, who will be taken to a local medical facility for knee issues and anal bleeding. What? Wow. That's it. In fact, for the Corbin bullshit, I'm just going to say right now that Vince McMahon's brand of comedy needs to be brought up on capital charges, and I really hope John Laurinaitis does not make it to Christmas. For being the piece of shit he is, I really hope that he ends up a fucking drooling vegetable. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.